Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special, unscheduled Let's Talk Criterion Live. And it's especially of interest to people in the UK. Just today, an announcement has been made by Criterion in the UK that they will be bringing out two forthcoming titles in the month of October. Now, this is very exciting news. Number one, it means that Criterion are back on the map for UK buyers because they were a little bit concerned because they had a sabbatical there across the summer. Very glad to see they've announced that they're back. But the main title that I'm going to talk to you about now is very exciting for UK collectors because it's opened the doors finally for 4K UK Criterion releases. And the first release coming to the UK will be Martin Scorsese's After Hours, releasing on Monday, the 9th of October, and its price point is set at $29.99. Now, I know a lot of people will say, ooh, that's very expensive for 4K. We can get a whole box set for 4K at that price. But unfortunately, everybody, it's Criterion, and their price points aren't really set with great concern to the UK current 4K pricing market. But what I will say is 4K is here. And that is good news because to import this disc from the US, it won't cost you $29.99. It will be more than that, certainly. And if you tried to import it now, it certainly would be that. So that's great news. It's a fantastic film. I unfortunately, of course, have my copy, which I actually bought through Amazon US through the Barnes and Noble price matching in July. So I did get it at a decent price. I actually got it less than $29.99. But the thing is, obviously, the good news for UK collectors is it's here. That's the good news. And obviously, that's not the only title they've announced for the month of October. So Martin Scorsese, briefly about the film, of course, it's fantastic. It's during a period when he was recovering from a letdown he had from Paramount Pictures with the making of the Last Temptation of Christ, which, of course, eventually did get made and released. But he was very disappointed and upset, and he looked for a small project that he could film over a series of nights. This project was After Hours. He chose Griffin Dunne to star with backup like from Terry Garr and lots of interesting Hollywood actors at the time. And of course, I've already previewed it on Let's Talk Criterion. There'll be a separate video. I think it was on my video, After Hours Breathless. So you can just check that out anytime you want on the channel. More detail and more background on that film. I don't want to go into great depth on that now, because I don't want to spoil the surprise. I watched the film myself a few days ago, and it's absolutely excellent. It's ranking right up there with the very best of Scorsese's output. Now, the second film coming to the UK is also equally as exciting. And it's Freaks, the Blu-ray, scheduled for release here on Monday, the 23rd of October. Now, its $39.99 price point makes it quite expensive, but it's more than one film. Now, the important thing about Freaks is that A, it's only coming out a week after the US release of this title. So that's going back to the old pattern that we used to have, where we used to get the Criterion titles in the UK about a week after the US. It's great that the license is available with Criterion in the UK for Freaks, because it's a very, very special compilation. And let me just explain why. Now, I was touching on this with my guest, Chris Mohan, a few nights back on our live Criterion stream. Now, it's Todd Browning who directed these films. They go back to the 1920s and 1930s. They're pre-code films, and it's drawing on his circus performer experiences and bringing sordid horror and mystery to the screen. Now, the two popular films in the set will be Freaks from 1932 and The Unknown from 1927. But the real jewel in the crown on this one is the rare Mystic, or The Mystic, with Aileen Pringle starring. A great treat there for any Todd Browning fan. So this is a really, really prestigious title coming to the UK Criterion collection. And only a week after its US release. So just to summarize, we have After Hours hitting our shores on Monday, the 9th of October. Price point $29.99, so ready on Amazon at that price. And in fact, if you want to pre-order it right now, you can go right to Amazon. Here's the link for the Blu-ray of After Hours. If you see that scrolling across the screen now, that is the link on Amazon for the Blu-ray of After Hours, if you haven't got a 4K player, of course. And now this is the link for the 4K of After Hours from Amazon.co.uk. Of course, it will be available from Zavvi most likely, and also, of course, from HMV, because they, of course, will stock the Criterion line. And the Blu-ray release link for Amazon for Freaks is scrolling across the screen now. And I strongly recommend that anyone interested in 1920 cinema, silent cinema, takes a look at this Blu-ray. It's fascinating work from Todd Browning. I will certainly, in fact, I'll be clicking on my pre-order in a few minutes' time once I end this rather short live stream. And then we have After Hours again, the Blu-ray link. I'll just keep recirculating those while I'm talking to people. Anybody that wants to talk to me now, is watching this live feed, please do comment. I'd love to hear what you've got to say about these two forthcoming releases. We've had a bit of a wave of nothing really in the UK from Criterion. And I also did mention on the live stream a few days ago with Chris that I was disappointed that they were constantly picking out almost at random titles from the US Criterion collection and releasing them in the UK. It's good that they do that, but as an avid collector myself, I find that a lot of these titles I already have acquired. And I imagine many serious Criterion collectors in the UK will have done the same as myself. Obviously, I'm not going to blame them for After Hours because we had no idea that this was coming to the UK, especially in 4K. Okay, so that's the banner for Blu-ray for After Hours. Again, the banner for the 4K release of After Hours, if you wish to pre-order. Don't worry, I don't have shares with Amazon. It's just this the only link out there at the moment. And the Blu-ray link for Freaks. So the stream comes to an end. What can I say except I'm absolutely elated with the news of the start of the autumn Criterion listings, with two excellent titles, one in 4K and one in Blu-ray. Any Criterion collector out there would be very glad to have both of those films in their collection, I'm sure. And on that note, all I want to point out to you is please check out the Bo Widerberg New Swedish Cinema, which is now on my channel to be looked at, and that comes out on Tuesday, the 22nd of August, here, not here, but in the US. We could actually see that in the UK as well, let's hope. And also, I'm preparing the September editions of Let's Talk Criterion. We've got some excellent titles coming up in the month of September as well. Obviously, they won't be in the UK in September because, as you can see from the screen, we don't start Criterion in the UK again until Monday, the 9th of October. Once again, thank you. If you're watching this live stream, please, if you catch it later, please feel free to comment on what you think of these releases. And I'll be posting new information as it comes through on any future UK releases from Criterion after the end of October, which I imagine we will certainly see. So thank you very much for watching this live stream. If you're tuning in now, I'm going to sign off with my usual sign off. Good viewing, everybody, and above all, make it Criterion viewing. Bye now.